Hello everyone, my name is Caleb Gossett from Subida Coffee. I'm here with John-Luc Robertson. Today we're going to be talking about another method for preparing some coffee. Today specifically we are talking about what, John?
We're talking about the siphon, also called the vacuum pot. I got this particular beauty for Christmas last year and I absolutely love it.
It's a very intimidating looking machine. Let's go ahead and say that right off the bat. It looks really scary and it is a little bit complicated. There's a few other methods of making coffee that are much simpler than the siphon, but it's a lot of fun and you can tell your friends, hey, I'm making coffee, but I'm also doing a cool science experiment, basically. So it's two for one.
Like I said, like Caleb just said, one of the most complicated ways to make coffee. Best way to make it when people are over, because it looks super cool.
You want a crowd, you want people around. It's like a magic trick.
Yes. So our equipment here, like we said, this is a siphon, also called the vacuum pot. We have a scale, and we have our water that I already have boiling in here, and then we have our little burner and the filter. So first thing you want to do for the siphon is take off the top part, and if you have one of these, let me go ahead and say, if you have one of these, I'm assuming that you're probably really into coffee and really into this. So I'm gonna skip some of the things about making sure this is tight, and how all this works, you can just read about it in the instructions. But you're gonna take out this piece, which is the part that holds the filter down. You're gonna want to put the filter on. Here's the filters. You're gonna wrap it around like this, and then I found it's easy. And you take both strings, hold it with your thumb like that, pull it tight, and make sure it is even on there. You really want to make sure the filter is perfectly flat on the piece that holds it down. I'm not sure what the technical name of this is called. And then you're just going to drop it in there like that, and then you're going to take the tail, pull it out, and there's a little hook on the end, and you're going to hook it onto the thing. You're going to want to make sure, again, you're going to want to look at it, make sure it's tight, completely even. You want a good seal on that. And then you're going to put this back in there for a second while you prepare your coffee. So you're going to want to use extremely very coarse coffee, like what you would use in a cold brew or French press. If you have one of these and you're getting our Subida Coffee subscription, you can use a French press.
It'll work. If you have, we also have two different grinders here. So if you have your grinder at home, just get the whole bean, grind it a little bit coarser than the French press.
Coarser than what you would use for, which is like sand, but like you can really see each individual piece. And you're going to put it on the scale. And we are using, every siphon is a little different. This is the Hario version of it, and it's a 3-cup. So we are going to use a 1 to about 1 to 13 ratio. So for 3 cups of coffee, we're going to use, how much did I say? 40 grams.
40 grams, yeah.
40 grams.
40 grams.
40 grams to 3 cups. So I'm going to pour in my grounds here to get 40 grams of coffee. In this method, you really want to try to be as exact as possible. It's in the wrong way.
How many times when you first got this did it take you to dial in each of the different steps until you could make a really tasty cup of coffee?
Oh, it was definitely a lot of practice. Definitely a lot of practice.
If you're just watching to see how it works,
yeah,
that's great. It's really cool to watch. You're gonna enjoy this. If you have one, it's gonna take a few times for you to get used to.
Right. Don't try it once and think, oh, the coffee's bad. It's not.
Keep trying.
Definitely use your error. This will make an amazing cup of coffee. You just have to keep practicing. I'm gonna kind of shake it a little bit to kind of get the grounds even there. And then at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and just take it off of the scale. You can measure it out, the exact number that you want here, but we're just gonna use the numbers on the on the filter, it's much easier, and you know you're getting it. So we're gonna use, like we said, 3 cups, and there's a little 3-cup mark here. So at this point, you're gonna wanna take this out, and you can put the top on it and set it aside, and I'm just gonna give it to Caleb.
Yeah. So at this point, are we adding in, why don't you tell me like what temperature of water are we putting into it? Is it cold, room temperature, hot? What do we want to do?
Great question. So we're about to use this little burner to heat up the water. And you can put in cold or warm water, room temperature water, but it's gonna take a long time. So I've gone ahead and pre-boiled our water, and I would recommend you doing this too. And I'm using a gooseneck kettle here, but any kind of tea kettle will work. You're just boiling the water and pouring it in. And like we said, we're trying to get it right at this 3-cup mark here. Almost there. And there we are. One important thing about this too, I don't have a rag here, but you're gonna wanna wipe off the bottom if you've got any, I'm just using my shirt, you don't want any liquid on the outside of it. Okay. And then we'll put that down. And then we'll go ahead and put the coffee on top. Very important. At this point, you don't want to put it on there and seal it yet. You just want to leave it a little secure, a little bit off, so that the water can, the air can escape. You're gonna turn on your burner.
This is the fun part. This is when it gets exciting.
So you're gonna turn on the burner here. Now, I bought this separately. This is not the one it comes with. The one it comes with is a little alcohol burner. But like I said, if you really want to use this, you're going to want to go ahead and invest in this. It makes it way easier and the cleanup way easier. So you're going to turn that on.
How big are you going to want to get that flame in terms of, you know?
You want to go in pretty hot, especially to make it start. You're trying to get this to boiling, and you want to do it, as quick as possible. So I've got this turned up pretty much all the way. And we'll give it a second to start boiling here.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I already had it boiling. And so if you've, I recommend this too, just to save time here. And you really want it going. You want to see some really big bubbles coming up off of here. Once you get this boiling and you see, a lot of bubbles going up, just about like that, like this thing is really boiling here, you're at that point going to push it down, and you want to get it, there you go. So at this point, what's happening here? Okay, a little too hot. What's happening here? The water is being sucked up to the top, and I'm going to turn it down. That went a little fast. You always want to keep water in this bottom.
And that's to prevent it from coming back down before it's ready, correct?
Yeah. So then I'm going to turn it on really low. You want a little water in the bottom. So what's happening here? The water on the bottom is holding up the water on the top. And once you get it up like this, you're going to take a spoon, something like this, and you're going to stir all of that up down there.
Okay, so how long do we want to? So what we're doing is we have it on lower heat, correct? So we're not allowing that pressure to give up to allow the coffee to pour back down. Mm-hmm. So how long we've stirred? How long do we keep the coffee up here before we're going to let it come back down?
We want the coffee up here about 45 seconds, and you don't want the water in the top to boil. So you want to turn your burner down as low as you can get it. And every once in a while, in that 45 seconds, you can kind of stir it a little bit just to look at it. And again, you don't want this water in the top boiling. You want this at about 200 degrees and the water at the bottom about 212, which it should do naturally. Mm-hmm. You just want to make sure you don't have it up too high. And that's been about 45 seconds.
Yep, I think it's ready to go.
And so at this point, I'm going to simply turn off the burner, and now we wait. So at this point, the water on the bottom It's still bubbling, it's still boiling, which is keeping this water up top.
But as it begins to cool off,
As it begins to cool off, it will suction the top coffee back to the bottom. There
you go. Here. And that filter, earlier when you attach that filter, that's keeping all the grounds up top, just allowing the beautiful coffee to pour down.
You can't really see it because of the bubbles here, but it is slowly making its way back down. Subida is really special. This coffee is so unique. It is one of the top-rated coffees in the world, and especially combining this with one of the top brew methods in the world. It's really amazing.
Yeah, when you start to deal with, high-end specialty coffee, top 7% in the world, you can start making coffee with some of these methods, and it's going to really, the coffee's going to taste fantastic. If you're getting just any old coffee and using it in things like this or pour over, it's just not really going to perform really well, but Subida does because of the quality.
Right. And there you go. After you get it down, you can kind of wait, let it cool down for a second.
Excellent. Now, after everybody stopped applauding because they just saw an incredible feat of coffee making skill, you ready to enjoy the coffee?
You're ready to enjoy. And again, like normally, we'd wait a little bit to let this cool down. I'm just gonna set this in here. There we go. And there we go. Pour and enjoy.
Hope you enjoyed our coffee tutorial. Remember, every time you drink Subida coffee, you are helping change lives through education.
Head over to our link in our bio to sign up for our subscription. Enjoy.